Then Mumuksha Prakarana. And third is the Utpatti Prakarana. We have now come to Utpatti Prakarana on creation. Today we are going to start with the story of Leela. We start with a prayer. Repeat after me. Yatas sarvani bhutani pratibhanti sthitani ca yatra evopashamam yanti tasmai satyatmane namaha. That from where the whole universe has been created, which gets sustained, which goes back to the pralaya, to that pure self, Satyatmane Namaha, we offer our salutation. Jnata Gnanam Tatha Gneyam Drashta Darshana Drushyabho Karta Hetu Kriya Yasmat Tasmai Jnaptyatmane Namaha. Knower, known, and the knowing. Similarly, seer, seen, and the process of seeing. Doer, the process of doing, and the process of done. It's a trifold process in all our actions. And that which is the one which cognizes everything is the ultimate reality. We offer our salutations to that. Spuranti Sikaraha Yasmat Anandasyambare Vano Sarvesham Jivanam Tasmai Brahmanandatmane Namaha. From where the whole creation comes up, which gets manifested in that vast, infinite sky of Ananda, Anandamaya Kosha, and from where we all live, to that Brahmananda Swarupa, Atman, ultimate reality, to them, to him, we offer our salutation. The chapter 1, called Vairagya Prakarana, Sri Rama's quest, fundamental quest that came to Rama. What is the meaning of this life? He analyzed the whole life, starting from birth till death, and found that it's all temporary, comes and goes, comes and goes, comes and goes. And what is the meaning of this entire thing? And in spite of his brilliance, in spite of all the good qualities he had, he could not find an answer. So he was in a state of complete questions, and he was not talking to anybody, not even interested in taking food, and as if he's in a state of depression. No. When Vishwamitra came, he interacted with him and understood that he is in a great state, a transition from the normal to the higher dimension. That's called the Vairagya. He is in the state of Vairagya. What is that Vairagya? The word comes from the word Vigataha Ragaha Yasmin Sa Viragi. Tasya Bhavaha Vairagyam. It said. Raga. There is attractions, attachments. And Raga and Dvesha. I want this, I don't want this thing. Raga has been nullified. He has no desire. He has no attraction. That is the state of Vairagya. So then Vishwamitra tells, don't worry. We had Shuka also, was in the same state. But he completely overcome this thing and became the greatest of the Gnanis. Then Rama asked, oh, tell me the story of Shuka. That's how the second Mumuksha Prakarana comes. That Mumuksha Prakarana, Shuka's whole journey was described beautifully by Vasishta in a series of seminars that he started doing that. And at the end of that, Rama says, yes, now I got a confidence that there is a meaning to life and I am going to understand that meaning and I want to understand the whole creation, how the creation occurs, how it gets installed, everything I will know by your teachings. Vasishta, please tell me. That's how the Utpatti Prakarana, the third chapter starts. Vasishta brings out all these things in the form of various stories. That's the beauty of Yoga Vasishta. Compared to other things, very nice mystic stories, intricate stories. Many times the stories ununderstandable as if he tells those stories. And through stories he brings out the whole concept. You have heard the first story of Akashaja. Vasishta creates a person from Akasha. And how the Akasha gets into again a problem, saying that if everything is, Srishti Sthiti Laya, comes and goes, comes and goes, comes and goes, how to overcome this bondage of Janma, Marana, cycle of birth and death, how to overcome that. For that, Vasishta guides him and says you have to purify all your samskaras, Sanchita karma, Agami karma, Prarabdha karma, everything you have to cleanse. And then you can reach that. So with a deep meditation, with tremendous amount of tapas, Akasha cleanses himself and reaches that state of Sthita Prajna, the Jivan Mukta Sthiti, and then Kala comes and says, I want to finish you. Because everybody follow this, Srishti, Sthiti, Laya. Now your term is over, you have to die. But he could not do. Because he was so pure, Allah could not find. And that was the story that Vasishta tells about Akasha. Bringing out the feature that this entire creation is governed by the law of Srishti, Sthiti, Laya. Creation, sustenance and destruction. We are all governed by this thing. Every one of us, we have taken birth, we live our life, and then one day we die. So is so for all the things in creation. That is the essence. And there is something beyond that. That is our pure self, pure consciousness. With that, he comes to the next story, the story of Leela. So this is a very intricate and a long story, it tells. But I am only giving you the gist of this story. So Vasishta is telling, O Rama, now to relieve you from the dubious predicament of thine and to attain quiescence of mind, I shall relate to you an interesting story. And please hear that story. It's very intricate and you should hear that with lot of attention, he says. And what is the story? He says, long time before, there was a king named Padma. Padma was a very wonderful king, full of sattva-guna. He is a role model of a king. And with the right discrimination, he used to have the right decision. He is full of power, full of wealth, everything. Whatever you can think of a king, everything is in him. On his poisoned arms rested Vijaya Lakshmi, for the goddess of victory. Wherever he went, he won. And he was a big emperor with all the wealth, with all the power. He was all the time doing everything for the good of the people, serving the people with all the vinamrata, everything. And this has been described by Kalidasa in Raghukula. He says, Tyagaya Samritarthanam. He used to acquire a lot of wealth for what? For giving it to others. There should be no poverty in the whole kingdom. Everybody should have not only food, shelter, clothing. They must have enough wealth, enough sampat, so that they can live very happily, even in the physical thing. Then you are taking care of the complete health of the society. Proper way of life you are doing with proper regulation. How regulations can bring even the good prevention. He was a model. I remember in Singapore, Lee Kuan Yew was of that type, the Prime Minister. He said every Friday morning up to 12 o'clock, all people should do practice, physical practice, religious practice. And this is compulsory. People can go for walking, they can go for swimming, they can go for yoga, they can do for pujas, havans, yagnas, whatever they want. They should do the inner practices. And he had made it a regulation. Everybody should do that. Just like you go for work at 9 o'clock, 9 to 12, 3 hours you have to do that. For all the youngsters, of the age of 16, they have to undergo 2 years of army training. So people were very, very happy, strengthened and healthy, prevention. So Padma was belonged to this category. He is Sattva-guna Sampanna. He is selfless. Everything for the good of the society, good of the kingdom, good of the people around. You are doing everything. So he was Padma. Then in that beautiful kingdom, all people used to be very happy. And there was proper governance, proper regulation, everything was going on very nicely. His royal partner went by the name Leela and had the good qualities of strictly conforming to her husband's mind. Padma's wife is Leela. Leela also was full of good qualities, just like the King Padma. She was also full of Sattva-guna and was very much loving to her husband. Both of them were ideal couple, just like Rama and Sita. So they were all the time taking up the good of the people, good of the entire kingdom. Both of them were doing that thing. And he conformed to the husband's mind. Whatever husband was doing, she was also doing that. She lived inseparable from him, like his shadow and mind. They were so loving, such a wonderful couple, full of love, hospitality, transparency. Everything was there, full of these things. They used to love each other with prema bhava, the real friendship. As I've been telling, what is the normal friendship and what is the real friendship? The normal friendship, I love you and expect that you also love me. I will take care of you and you also should take care of me. There's always expectation of a return. I will give you a party, you should give me a party. So expectation of a return is the normal thing in friendship. But in the real friendship, there is no expectation of a return. I go on loving you and doing everything. I'm trying to give everything for you without expectation of anything in return. This is the prema bhava. They belong to this thing. They were wonderful, ideal couple with the prema bhava between them. Queen Leela, after many, many years of their thing, lived a life of unparalleled splendor. They were all very happy with wealthy, health, with happiness. They all lived wonderfully, taking care of the people, and the kingdom was a role model. It was a testament to their power and prosperity. So, ideal social order. What is an ideal social order? Where all people are full of wealth, they have the health, they have the happiness, they have mutual love and affection, and they all work together as one big family. That is the ideal thing that we have to build. So indirectly, Vasishta is telling Sri Rama that when you are going to be the king, you have to build such an ideal social order. So you have to earn the money by various developmental activities and make the entire kingdom full of wealth. But that alone will not do. Even an economic superpower, you must have a defense superpower. But it should have one big family with love, affection, transparency, and everything. That's how Vasishta was telling. Okay? They all lived a life of great joy with all sense pleasures, endowed with wealth, power, and appreciation by all. Everybody used to praise this couple. They had all the respect for them. They should tell everybody that our king and the queen are the best in the world. They are the role models. That was the situation. Years passed, decades went, and then they have started becoming old. Then Leela's heart was shadowed by an intense fear of losing her beloved husband. So, what is going to happen if I lose my husband? I'll become all alone. So, fear started getting stuck to her. What did she do? To overcome the fear, you have to do the austerities, the disciplines, the yoga practices. This is what she did. That was the direction. To overcome fear, you have to do the practice. To quell this fear, he embarked on rigorous spiritual practices, yearning for divine insight into the mysteries of existence. Every day, he would spend hours and hours doing meditation, doing various religious practices, and giving more and more to others. Probably all the 4 streams of yoga, Jnana Yoga, Raja Yoga, Bhakti Yoga, Karma Yoga, everything she started spending, intense practices. Indicating to Rama, Vasishta says, as you go old, this is what you have to do. To pass your youthful years with full of sense pleasures Then when you go further, you have to devote yourself to penance. As the old age comes, you must spend more and more time for your yoga practices, for your religious practices, spiritual practices, to start growing more and more. This is what he started doing intensely. So the whole night he was completely absorbed in deeper meditation. While King Padma, somewhat deeply, every day Padma was nicely sleeping. At that time, she'll slowly come out and start doing deep meditation and penance, even in the night. So, as it passed many years and decades, then she got into a vivid, ethereal vision, a sort of samadhi, because she was worshipping Ma Saraswati. So, Ma Saraswati comes and gives the presence. She found herself in the presence of resplendent goddess Saraswati, the epitome of wisdom and knowledge. As you know, Saraswati is an embodiment of all knowledge, wisdom, creativity, and beauty. So she gets a vision of Saraswati. When she gets what she asks, "Oh Saraswati, this is my fear. What is going to happen when my husband dies? I will become all alone. Therefore, please keep me all the time alive with him." So her intense practices, her deep meditations, everything. So overwhelmed by her divine aura, Leela implored Saraswati for a boon. What is the boon she asked? Please keep me remain united with her husband beyond the confines of mortal life. Keep me with him all the time. Not only during this mortal life, but also when he dies, I also should be with him. So he wanted this. That's the boon she asked. Ma Saraswati completely see the intense dedication, total surrender, everything of Leela. And then says, okay, do it. The compassionate goddess Saraswati, with a knowing smile, agreed, but she thought I should lift her further from her mortal desire, from her small vision to a higher vision. I would impart her a deeper truth of life to Leela. She'll be able to overcome this thing. Because she is the fifth person to take her beyond the normal thing. Now she is stuck with a desire to be with her husband because she thinks that is the ultimate in life. To be together with the husband, to enjoy the life, and wherever he goes, they want to be together, together, together. This is her desire. This is a gross desire. That Saraswati says, I have to bring her to the higher knowledge base. Vasishta is driving Rama, saying that the mortal desires that we have, with the sense and sense pleasures, is not the total. You have to go beyond. So to be good in sattva is very good. Tamas to rajas, rajas to sattva. Both of them have been imbued with the sattvic qualities. But now they have to go beyond sattva. So what does she do? So Leela's transformative journey commenced. In a few years, when Padma dies, soul is getting out of that pranamaya kosha. Then the whole new transformation starts with the Leela. Leela calls, "Oh, Ma Saraswati, you are told that we'll be together. Now he is no more there. He has burnt into ashes and his soul has gone. I do not know where it is. I also want to be with him." Says. He is thick with grief because he has lost her husband. He fervently prayed to Saraswati. Saraswati Ma, please, 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 come. And he has given a boon that we'll be together. But now what has happened, you see? He has left. I am left alone. That was the greatest fear that I had. And Saraswati comes, says that now I'm going to show you where your husband has gone, from where you people came. So he takes her to the mystic realm, to the Manomaya Kosha. Saraswati transforms her to the Manomaya Kosha. Just like Krishna says, and Arjuna says, "Give me the darshan." Okay, I will give you. This normal eyes cannot see that. I will give the divine eyes. And with the divine eyes, he sees the Vishwarupa. Similarly, here, Saraswati gives her, takes her to the dimension. So in this new realm of Manomaya Kosha, Saraswati unveiled the layers of existence, revealing that Leela's perceived reality was merely a projection of her consciousness. She told all our lives that we have is only a projection of our mind. Chitta, as Patanjali says. We have all our samskaras, and the samskaras will create. Just like in a dream, you create a dream world. How do you do it? With the mind. Based on your samskaras that you have in your mind, you create a dream. The dream world is as real as this world. This world, physical world where we live. But when you are in the dream world, you don't say it's only a dream. And sometimes you are very happy, sometimes you are all in grief. So, Vasishta is telling to Sri Rama, now the whole world that you are perceiving, is all construct of the mind. It is the mind that brings good and bad. Manayeva manushyanam karanam bandhamukshayoho. It said, it is the mind that makes you come. Mind can create the whole world. We have an example in dream. Similarly, the higher mind has created this entire physical world which we see. We are all born of that higher Manomaya Kosha. They are brought out. So, Saraswati bring out this new vision to Leela. Leela's perceived reality was merely a projection of her consciousness. See that? This is what is happening. So in one mystical layer, then Saraswati takes her to one of her previous lives. Okay, see what had happened to you earlier. Because Saraswati had the power to take her back anywhere. What was there in the previous life? Leela found herself in a humble village, living as a simple woman with King Padma as a modest farmer. Out of the previous lives. See what has happened to you in the past life. You were just a farmer, a poor farmer, along with a wife, with a husband, with Padma. Both of you were working in the agricultural fields and making your living. But both of them were very good. Both of you developed a sattva guna. And all the time we are worried that we don't have good money, we are still poor, we don't have good house, everything was going on and on. Therefore, your aspiration, your mind was wanting that you were to be full of wealth. Then you will be very, very happy. That's what your things were. So you are putting that Sanchita karma in your Manomaya Kosha. Doing that. Then in another, they exist as celestial beings in a divine abode. So because of that, in your next karma, see what happened. You are in that celestial world. In the Kinnara Loka, Yakshaloka, which is there. There, what you are doing, you had all the wealth, and your youthful spirit. So you enjoyed everything going on there. And your enjoyment continued in the celestial world. Then also you were not satisfied, wanted some power, apart from the wealth and other things. So then you came back and became this Padma and Leela. So Saraswati made her see her previous lives. 1, 2, 3, 4. I just only quoted only 2, 3 of them. But in Leela's story, Vasishta gives number of other things, what has happened to her. How her desires to become wealthy, to become powerful, to become a big emperor, all fructified gradually through various lives. And then Padma and this thing has happened. So each revelation was a profound reminder that reality is fluid and ever-changing, shaped by the mind's perception. It's all samskara that desire. At the end of your life, whatever desire you have is going to get fructified into the next janma. All of us have this experience. In the night, whatever thought you have at the time of sleep, next morning you come out with that thought. Supposing you want to get up early in the morning, tomorrow morning, you have to catch a flight very early. You have to get up at 4 o'clock. You have put the alarm. But the alarm, before it rings, already you have got up. How did this happen? You have put that thought, I want to get up early. So that goes on in the brain. So it becomes a samskara. Therefore, whatever is the desire that you have at the end of this life, that is the life that you are going to take. So, Saraswati is telling Leela that when you were a farmer, farmer's wife, then you wanted to be rich. Then you go into a rich realm. Then you want to be full of spirit and then youthful energies, and you want to be full of youthfulness for a long time. Therefore, you stayed in that thing for a long time, 1,500 years, 2,000 years. You enjoyed that thing. You are not satisfied then. Your desire continued. I want to be in the earth. I want to be an emperor. And full of wealth, happiness, with wonderful husband. And he should be an emperor. We should be appreciated by everybody. All this Sattva should come up. That's how he took birth as Padma's wife, Leela. So whatever has been your cognition, whatever has been your desire, which you have put into the Sanchita karma, that shows up as your prarabdha karma. And all these things that you have is all the whole creation of the mind. Saraswati elucidated that the universe is a vast ocean of consciousness, with each life being a transient wave arising from this ocean. Sanchita karma is there in the Manomaya Kosha, Jnanamaya Kosha, Anandamaya Kosha, it's all huge ocean. In that, your karmas, Sanchita karma, prarabdha karma, agami karma, everything is in the form of memory stored. Vasishta gives the example that they are all like waves. Waves in a huge ocean. Ocean is our infinite consciousness, Anandamaya Kosha. If all the waves subside, then all your sanchita karma, everything is purified. Then you are in that ocean, all pervasive ocean, Anandamaya Kosha, you are there. So, Saraswati tells Leela, please understand. This is the whole creation. Indirectly, Vasishta telling Rama, this is your thing. That all your desires, all your sanchita karma shows up in your life. The forms and experiences Leela encountered were fleeting and illusory, corrupted by her thoughts and desires. So Saraswati gave her this vision. What all you have got for your previous lives and everything is all your own projection. Just like in a dream world, you have your own projection as a dream world. Your entire life, various lives that you have undergone is all your projection. The forms and experiences you have encountered are fleeting. They are coming and going. Maybe 100 years, maybe 50 years, maybe 1,000 years, maybe 2,000 years. But they come and go, come and go. They are fleeting. And in a sense, they are all illusory. They are all corrupted by your own thoughts, by your own desires, by your own mental concoctions. So Saraswati's teachings started opening the minds. So through these mystical visions, Leela started realizing that my attachment to the physical form, that I had to be all the time with Padma, it's an illusory thing. And it is in this life that I want her to be there. And my real existence is not merely physical. It is all pervasive. In a sense, Vasishta is driving to tell that you have the subtle body and the causal bodies. What we say in our Panchakosha, this is the Annamaya Kosha, Pranamaya, Manomaya, Vijnana, Anandamaya Kosha, four more things which are all there. What you are desiring is only attachment to your husband in this Annamaya Kosha, but goes on in different things. So when you have attachments, very strong attachments, they lead to suffering, the bread suffering. So you have to overcome that attachment. It is the attachment of the mind. It is the raga and the dvesha that comes up, or the ones that result in various dimensions of suffering. Our stress, our tensions, and all our diseases, our miseries, everything is due to our own mind. Manayeva manushyanam karanam bandha mukshayoho. It is the mind that brings the bondage. And it is the bondage that creates all the miseries and the dukkha. So now you are separated from Padma, so you are suffering, you are stuck with the grief, and you are suffering, and crying. It's all because of the attachment. Attachment is the one that brings the desires. Dhyayato vishayan pansaha sangha teshopajayate. Sanghat sanjayate kamaha. It's the attachment that brings the desires. And the desires lead to more and more grosser emotions, kama, krodha, lobha, moha, mada, matsarya. All these are going to come up. And these are the ones that cause the havocs in life. All your suffering is due to this. Krishna, Saraswati is telling Leela, clearly bringing the vision. Indirectly, Vasishta is telling Sri Rama, all your attachment is the root cause for your this thing. As her understanding deepened, Leela came to see the true union with her husband transcended the physical form. You have to tune yourself to your husband at the higher realms. of the subtle form. To have a desire that I want to be with him physically. That attachment should go, that desire should vanish. And if I have the real love for him, that love will be at all levels. It should transcend the physical form. So she thinks that having grief for Padma's death is not right. Attachment she was able to overcome. So she understood that the real love and the happiness that comes out of the love lay in the recognition of the oneness of the souls within the infinite consciousness. Should be together. To be one with that. As Jivatmas, both of us should go and merge with the total consciousness. They are like two waves, and both waves we join together and then go and then merge with the totality. So indicating to Shirama that you, your wife, and your family are like waves in the ocean. You should all work continuously to transcend yourself, to go beyond the gunas, go beyond the sattva, doing all the good things you must do as long as you are there. Then when you leave the body, you must go and merge with the totality. A huge ocean of consciousness. That's the infinite consciousness. You have to go beyond the Panchakoshas. For the role of a husband and a wife, you must both work together to grow to the greater and greater heights. Not only to the sattva level. Both of them were in the sattva level. They are born. What is the sattva level? Dana, Daya, Dama, Teda, Kshama, Dhruti, Shautam, Adroho, Natimanita. Everything they are endowed with that. And they built ideal social order. And they had the power, they had the appreciation, they had the wealth, they have the health, and everything they had. That the Sattva-guna Sampanata was there. But they were to go beyond that. So, Saraswati made her understand the higher dimensions of consciousness. Through revelation of her previous lives. And also in future, what is going to happen, also she describes in this. So this revelation brought her profound peace. All her grief vanished. Allowing her to embrace the eternal nature of the spirit beyond any single life. She could see the vision so clearly, and with Padma's thing going, she was able to be together and both of them start growing higher and higher. So that is the revelation that brought tremendous peace. Therefore, Rama, if you want to have peace, what has to be done? You have to overcome this attachment. You have to overcome all the desires. And it is the attachment and the desire that has caused you this grief, this vacuum in life. And you have to understand what is the meaning in life. Meaning of life is to manifest the divinity. That we have to raise ourselves from your worldly attachments to go beyond the attachments, to go to higher and higher dimensions of consciousness. Move from Annamaya to Pranamaya, Manomaya, Vijnana, Anandamaya Kosha, and reach the ultimate reality. This is the goal. So Rama was driven by this wonderful thing about dimensions. The story of Leela in the Yoga Vasishta serves as a powerful allegory, emphasizing the transient nature of worldly attachments and the ultimate truth of unity in consciousness. So what it says, that your vision here is limited, is gross. You have to expand yourself. In the morning we are seeing how you expand yourself by the process of surrender. Leela was able to surrender to Saraswati. That's how she expanded her vision. And Saraswati gave the directions. So the process of surrender more and more, expands more and more, and you get the higher dimension. As you go to higher dimensions, you come to the Vijnanamaya Kosha, in which all your limited knowledge, wrong knowledge, everything will go. Because from the Vijnanamaya Kosha we have avidya, asmita, raga, dvesha, aviniveshaha, kaishaha. That Patanjali says, our mind has become limited with the wrong knowledge and comes down in the form of raga and the dvesha and comes down this thing. Therefore, she was made to understand the whole dimension. And her sincerity, dedication of Leela helped her to get into this thing. So what is to be done? As it said in the Jnana Yoga, Shravana, Manana, Nididhyasana, the Jnana. She had heard from all the great masters as to how she can overcome that fear that she will be separated from this thing. She started doing that, thinking about that, and started doing Nididhyasana. The various religious rites, She spent hours and hours every day. While Padma was ruling the kingdom, going there and doing her duties, she was engaged herself in her process of transforming herself, changing ourselves, and going deeper and deeper. That is the whole story of Leela, And through this story, Vasishta brings the newer dimensions of life. What is the meaning of life? The meaning of life is contained in the understanding that this entire world is created out of the mind. By the attachment, by the process of desire, the whole world comes. Later on he says how this entire world has been created. Later on he is going to say in this creation, Brahma the creator, Satapotapyata, Satapat Tapva, Idagum Sarvam Asujata. He did this tapas, focused himself and created the whole world. He had that power. So this is the whole story that we have. So it teaches us that through inner awakening and divine guidance, one can transcend the illusions of material world and attain eternal peace. When we want peace, when we want infinite bliss, infinite knowledge, power and freedom, you have to expand yourself. So that's the Jnana Yoga that is being brought out by the Vasishta. Rama's ignorance has to be cleansed. His all limited knowledge has to be expanded. So for that, through the story of Leela, he directs Rama to do that. So Leela's mystical journey is a testament to the transformative power of spiritual insight, urging seekers to look beyond the surface and discover the deeper, interconnected essence of all existence. So, the transformation that took place in Leela, by the journey that has been brought forth by Saraswati, shows that it is possible to completely cleanse our Sanchita karmas and go to the higher and higher levels and reach ultimately the pure consciousness. And to understand there is all interconnected in life. Whatever desires you have the desire fructified in the next Janma. So whatever desires is left at the end of your life, you are going to do that. And you get that Janma. In that Janma, whatever desires fructify, in the next Janma, it goes on and on. How long it goes on? As long as you have the desire, you are going to have this thing. So if you want to go beyond all the koshas, you have to completely vanquish all the desires. Purity, that's called. And the power of spiritual insight to look beyond the surface and discover the deeper, interconnected essence of all is the one that Rama was endowed with by Vasishta's wonderful journey. And that is the story of Leela. And it's such a wonderful story that Vasishta has told in this thing. And we'll take further in the next class. Thank you very much. We'll close today's session with the, as usual, Shanti Mantra. And if you have some questions, we are going to spend. If you have something, you can write down the questions with this thing. Sarve bhavantu sukhinah, sarve santu niramaya, sarve bhadrani pashyantu, ma kaschit dukkha bhavet. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. What should we do to surrender apart from doing japa? What are simple techniques one can take to expand oneself? Japa is the sound aspect. You have got your Ishtadevata and Ishtadevata dhyana, Ishtadevata japa. Ishtadevata japa is the sound aspect. Like Hanuman was doing, Ram, 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 Ram. They were doing. When you do the japa, it should not be only mechanical. It should spread throughout the body. So it not only chant here in the mouth loudly, you should be able to feel the vibration throughout the body from toes to head. This is the second phase in this thing. Then, along with that sound, you also keep the picture of Sri Rama. Hanuman was to have the complete vision of Sri Rama all the time. And Sri Rama's vision was occupying the whole body. Hanuman's body was becoming the Rama. What was happening, as we say, Rom Rom me Ram Nam. An embodiment of all the grand qualities of Sri Rama was getting imbibed by Hanuman. That is the dimension that comes. That is the aspect of japa that brings about, and then you start expanding the dimensions. So the easy way, as you say, is the japa. Tajjapaha tadartha bhavanam, as it said. So can you explain what is the Guru Diksha and its benefit? Diksha is the offering, the grace. As Krishna says, Mukam vachalam karoti, pangum langhete girim. So a dumb can become a great orator. The person with no legs, he can climb the Himalayan mountains. Such is the great grace of Krishna Bhagavan himself for great personalities. We don't have such people today to give their grace. So we have to make our own journey. And this is the example of Ramakrishna. He did not have Guru. He searched for a Guru who can give him the Diksha, who can guide him, but he was not satisfied. Even people like Girish Chandra Bose and others, they were all become Nastikas. The scientific temper has come, and the Western civilization had brought forth in the whole country, and there were hardly anybody who believed in God. Such was the condition. Therefore, Gadadhara took, yes, I am going to take my own recourse. I am going to do that and start doing his thing. This is what we have to do. In the modern times, we have the process, we have the willpower, we are strong, we have to start working on that. The information is available. Surrender to your Ishtadevata or your role model. I was the youngest student of batch 251 offline. It feels so good to hear your lectures again in Guruji. Thank you very much. Good. So there should be a continuity. After your YAC, you should continue. That's why these satsangs have been organized. So understand deeper and deeper dimensions of these things. Anjali is asking question. Quantum entanglement and desires. What is their interconnection? Quantum entanglement is in the physical world. In the physical world, there is the connection, interconnection between two entities. When they go far away also, a change in one brings a change in the other. Similarly, it is said in Annamaya, Pranamaya, Manomaya, Vijnanikas, there is a continuity of the whole thing. And a change in one brings a change in the other. Change in the Annamaya Kosha brings change in the mind, change in the prana, change in the buddhi, everything is going to change. Similarly, a change in buddhi, wrong knowledge getting improved, then it brings about changes in the Annamaya Kosha also. Therefore, this is the interconnection. This is the expanded version of the quantum entanglement. That is non-locality, as it is said. Whatever you have in the physical world also seen at all the levels. Whatever is found in the higher levels also found in the Annamaya Kosha also. How can we appreciate in our wakeful state that the whole creation around us and the experiences that gives us are all just projection of our mind? Yes. We cannot get to this knowledge easily. The example that has been given is in the dream world. It shows how the mind can create a world, how your particular desires or the dveshas can bring about suitable manifestations in the form of a world. Whatever you are desiring very strongly in the wakeful thing, it shows up in the dream world. So if you are hating somebody, something is happening, or you are getting very much afraid about certain things, all that shows up in the dream world. What does that show? The mind has the capacity to create a world of its own. But this doesn't happen here in the physical world. Only when your mind goes into that level of the Manomaya Kosha, Vijnanamaya Kosha, then it happens in the physical world. A Vishwamitra can create a heaven, a Trishanku Swarga, because he had that thing. People in that Vijnanamaya Kosha have all the power to create the whole universe. For us, as normal beings, it shows that there is the possibility of the mind creating the world of itself. Therefore, we have to take this as an example and we start rising in our mental capacities. Dhyana, taken to samadhi, then going into the deeper and deeper levels. Like here, Saraswati guided her to see what has happened in her previous life. Showing that when you go deeper and deeper, you can see what are all your past life. Past life regression, one of the methods they are telling. Then you can see what is happening in your past lives and what is going to come up in the future life. So Vasishta is hinting that when you go to the subtler levels, these capacities start coming. And as the grace of Saraswati, here he has put that Leela was able to see that. But in a true sense, it is the expanded mind of the Leela that actually takes her to the previous time. She gets that capacity. As Patani specifically tells, the Sayama can take you to the different levels. By doing what particular Sayama, we can what power has been put forth there. Why did Brahma create the universe in the first place if the ultimate goal is to leave this material world or universe? So we ask questions, and for everything we need an answer. Okay, fine. Please tell me which is the beginning and end of a circle. Whether the hen came first or the egg came first. Whether seed came first or tree came first. In the cyclical world, your question that everything should have a beginning, should have a reason, and should have an end is not valid. So, the questions are governed by our logic, by our intelligence. We start asking questions. So, when you have to transcend the things to get at the reality, your questions will not be answered in the normal sense, but the questions will be dissolved to get the answer. So this is the whole secret of the thing. So asking question, why did Brahma create this world and brought all these negativities and everything? Why he should have done that is the question you are asking. I ask a counter question. Why he should not done? You have the freedom. You can do that, and you may not do it also. So when you have the freedom, you can do it or you need not do it. Therefore, Brahma did something. Sometimes Brahma did not do other times. He did not go on creating all the time. When the pralaya is there, he did not create there also. Why pralaya came? So, for this question, there is a counter question. Why not? Why did he create? Because the question, why not? And everything should have a beginning and the end. It's also wrong. So, the entire cycle of birth and death, the entire Srishti, Sthiti Laya goes on and on. It is anadi, as it said. Did Kalidasa also write on Leela? The story comes in Yoga Vasishta. And whether the great Kalidasa, whether he wrote on Leela as a story, I have not heard. But if we have this thing, then I also would like to know from there. How can we appreciate in our Vekkursi that done? Do we reach silence when we completely empty the mind? Emptying the mind, chitta, vrittis, the modification of the mind has to be slowed down, completely vanquished. Then you go into that silence. And therefore, the whole approach of Vasishta is that you have to do manaprashamana, deeply silence the mind, calm down the mind. When you silence the mind, you must be careful that you are not in sleep. In the sleep also, you think there is no thought. Wrong. The thoughts are in the frozen form. Bijanidra pragnaha tatulyena vadyate, it said. Or, in Patanjali, see, Pramana Viparya Vikalpa, Nidra Smrutayaha. In the Nidra also, it is there. What is the state of mind there? Abhava Pratyaya Alambana Vrittihi Nidra. Nidra has a vritti. It's a Abhava Pratyaya, he puts. So therefore, the mind is not absent in Nidra or deep sleep, but it is existing as a thought. And the whole memory store is very much there in that. We all come back with the same memory in this thing. So let us close this today. Om Purnamadaha Purnamidam Purnat Purnamudachyate Purnasya Purnamadaya Purnameva Vashishyate. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Thank you all for your presence.
Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you, Shashi. Thank you, Manisha. Thank you, Anjali. I'm glad